Holy shit. I think this is one of my new favorite anime. Bloom Into You is about a lot of things. It's about love, sure, but love is simply this show's jumping off point for exploring ideas about self-identity, about the masks we wear, senses of guilt, obligation, and self-loathing, living with and accepting oneself, and discovering what it truly means to be oneself. And it's all delivered through a very human cast, a strong central relationship, and an utterly gorgeous audiovisual presentation that leaves my mind flooding with thoughts and feelings, and my mouth absent of the words to convey them. At least not in a manner short and coherent enough to squeeze into a short monthly YouTube video. I think I'm going to want to revisit this series in greater depth much farther down the line, so for now I'm just gonna gush, alright? Alright, so those central ideas, self-identity and discovery, the masks we wear, are primarily explored through our two leads and their temporarily one-sided romance. These are interwoven elements that are pretty hard to separate, so I'm not going to try to do that. Suffice to say that both characters play into these ideas and their personal growths are inexorably linked. One half of the dynamic duo is Yu Koito. She's got her own set of masks that she puts on for different people. An old middle school friend sees her as the detached type who just goes with the flow. Toko sees her as an obstinate yet kind soul, and Yu's own self-image changes over the course of the season. She starts out feeling empty and lonely, like she's missing the one thing she thinks she should have, that of course being love. By the end of the season, she has that thing, but is in denial both about having that thing and about needing it at all, and yet she still grows more comfortable with herself through her relationship with Toko. Toko Nanami's primary mask is of her own making. She appears to most others as a confident, affable leader who gets shit done. Only to Yu will she let her vulnerability show. An infection of self-doubt that slowly takes greater hold. She'll be bold to everyone, but only to Yu can she act shy, embarrassed, or flustered. True feelings that might destroy that confident image she's so carefully built up. And why bother building up that image when it seems to go against her nature? She's overloaded with senses of guilt and obligation about her deceased sister, who she knew to be that confident leader. And though she'll never say it, Toko blames herself for her sister's death. Toko feels she has to honor her sister's memory by carrying on her legacy, by being the kind of person she was. And how devastating it was for Toko when she learned that she didn't really know her sister, just the mask that her sister wore in front of her. But wasn't her sister's mask just as much a part of her as any other? And indeed, inhabiting that confident image she's built for so long, isn't Toko's confident mask just as much a part of her now? Are masks lies, or are they actually just parts of ourselves? You say you put on a mask because you don't want others to know the, air quotes, real you, but your ability to successfully wear that mask, to convince others that you are that person, isn't that just evidence that you are indeed that person? All of that is what Yu and Toko have to grapple with. Something they would not have been able to do without each other. One thing that's annoying about love stories in a lot of media is how often the love is incidental. Like, just a thing that happens for no real reason. Like, the writers are filling out an item on a checklist handed to them by the marketing team or something. These relationships won't meaningfully affect the characters, which is kind of, you know, not how relationships work. She was able to put behind her the idea that she needed to fall in love in order to be a complete person, that it was a necessary thing to begin with, even while subconsciously finding it and putting it on the back burner. Yu's problem was never that she couldn't fall in love, but that she lacked the passion and drive that love typically brings out in people. Being with Toko allowed Yu to find that very drive. That drive to be with Toko and help her accomplish her goals, even if you never got quite around to labeling that drive love. And to be clear, these two weren't incomplete people before meeting each other or anything. Rather, their meeting allowed them to challenge each other and forced them to grow. Their relationship allowed them to grow into better people, and that is why it was so powerful. Narrative stuff aside, this show's presentation is absolutely fantastic. The soundtrack, of course, is beautiful. Its many orchestral arrangements are able to communicate a wide range of emotions, from simply setting a pleasant tone to capturing the feeling of loneliness with just a few notes on a piano. There's a whole lot to be said on the visual front too. There's a whole lot of directing tricks that I haven't the time to dissect, from the deliberate use of first-person perspective shots, the framing of shots with characters made small and or set off in a corner, the recurring visual motif of the train, and then there's the character animation, not just excellently employed to show Toko's private moments of being flustered and absolutely adorable, but also bits dedicated to side characters that weren't strictly necessary for the story, but went so far in terms of providing extra nuances for those characters, showing an attention to detail not present in many other productions, and man, it's all just so fucking good. Coming out of this series, the only big worry weighing on my heart was that it was over before it was over. The manga was still ongoing when the show went on the air, and the staff smartly decided to adapt what was there instead of rush to an ending. I appreciate that they adopted all the material they could as best they could, but still, that just leaves me wanting for Season 2. What we got was fantastic, but we were left with just enough dangling plot and character threads that it can't help but feel the slightest bit incomplete, and the mere existence of a continuation would render all of what I just said moot and elevate the current material into a straight-up 10 out of 10. So, here's hoping. In sum, holy fuck, I love this show. Its nuanced explorations of identity, poignant central relationship, and strong visual audio presentation all blend together to make this show probably the best romance anime, hell, best romance story period that I've ever seen. I love it to bits. Thanks for sitting through my rambling about a gay-as-fuck cartoon. This has been a viewer's choice video. Check the description for more on that. There will be a link to a poll. Happy Pride Month. Black Lives Matter, fuck the police, and don't forget to be gay and do crimes.